Hey friends, it's Gubba at the Gubba Homestead. Welcome back. I'm a first-time homesteader following in the footsteps of my homesteading forebears. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to prune raspberry bushes. So I grew up with raspberry bushes, so one of my spring things to do was prune them, and I'm going to teach you how. It's super easy and it's actually fun and really relaxing. So before we get into that, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss another Gubba video. So as you can see behind me, this is an out of control little raspberry patch. I just moved here a few months ago, so I'm going to get this into control and I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing that you're going to want to do with your raspberry patch is to get rid of the floricanes. There's the kinds of stalks. You got the floricanes and the primocanes, and the floricanes are the stalks that bared fruit the year before, and then you have the primocanes that shot up and will give us fruit this year. So the floricanes are spent. They start with F, so they've already fruited, and we're going to be trimming those down to the ground. And then the primocanes you trim to your desired height where you want your berry bush patch to go to, if that makes sense. So let me show you the difference between a floricane and a primocane before we get trimming. Here is an example to show you the difference between a floricane and a primocane. So you can see that the floricane has like gray, weathered, flaky skin. It's spent. It already lived its life. And this is a primocane that has shot up and will give us fruit this year and then become a floricane. So it's cool that nature tells us by the skin what it is. And you can remember floricane starts with an F. It has already fruited and it is spent. So this is where you're going to want to trim down to the base. So right down there you're going to make a cut, and this you will just, the primocane you will trim to your desired height. So this primocane that we were just looking at down there is right at the height. I don't want this super tall orchard of berries right here, or berry bushes, so I'm probably going to keep it, this is probably about 3.5 feet right here, and I will just clean this off after I get out all of the floricanes and clean this out. For tools to trim your raspberries, I would suggest having gloves because raspberries have little pricklies on their stems that can hurt. And then I use loppers. I find that I can get back into the berry bushes easily with long loppers. So I love using these. You can also use shearers, but I prefer loppers because I'm able to get good angles and get back where I normally couldn't. So this is about it. Also some pants as well, preferably without holes, because you'll be leaning down cleaning out your raspberry bushes. So we have cleared the raspberry patch of all the floricanes, and look at how nice it looks. It was so full. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the primocanes to a uniform height. So probably like 3.5 feet. I don't want them to be super tall. And then I'm going to keep a distance between my garden bed of my raspberries. So these I'm going to be trimming. So you want this to be about 1.5 to 2 feet wide, because raspberries can easily get out of control, as you saw. And so I'm just going to clean this up of the little growth like this down here and these, and then we are good to go, and we're going to have a beautiful raspberry patch that is going to give us a lot of raspberries. So that's it. That's all you really need to do for trimming your raspberries. And like I said, it's relaxing. You just come and get the floricanes, trim down the primocanes. You can also thin out the primocanes too as well, where you have maybe like 2 or 3 per, I don't know, per little section. I probably have more than what some people would keep, but I'm really happy with this. I thinned this out a lot, and I'm excited to see what the growth brings this summer for raspberries, and I will do a follow-up video so you guys can see how this turned out. You wouldn't want to keep that vegetation, all the floricanes in, because then the energy is going to be more expent on managing all the other raspberry canes, so then your fruit isn't going to get very big. That's also dependent on sunlight as well, and I'm unsure how the sun is going to fall right here because I have a big tree which is going to cast shade. So I just want to see how this does this first year, and I'm super excited. Seriously, trimming raspberries is so stinking easy. You can get out and do it, and you will be so happy to see how your crops turn out. So don't do anything at 𝐚𝐵 and do. Thank you for coming with me and watching, and I hope that you learned how easy it is to go and trim your berry bushes. And don't do anything at 𝐚𝐵 and do. Bye!